Alrighty, here we go.
So, find a space, guys. Get into your normal workout space, and we're going to hit the deck. We're going to start on the floor in the warm-up and work our way up to our feet. We're starting on the floor with some lumbar rolls, arms out nice and wide, keeping the shoulders flat to the floor, and just rotating the lower body side to side as far as is comfortable without the opposite shoulder coming off the floor. Lovely. We just want 10 total, 5 to each side. Good. And then you're just going to roll all the way over and lie on one side with those knees in the same position. Okay, so knees at level with the hips, and then the knees at 90 degrees. Bottom arm out straight, and then top hand on top, and just 5 rotations here. Just mobilizing the shoulders, mobilizing the thoracic spine, trying to limit the lower body movement if we can, so we don't want that top knee to follow the top arm around. Once you've done 5 on each side, on the 5th one, we're going to roll over to the other side and do exactly the same thing here. Now, we're not worried about getting the hand to the floor, all right? That's not the object here. We're trying to open and get that top shoulder blade around, okay? So it's more about turning from the shoulder and the shoulder blade rather than trying to reach over with the hand. Once you've got 5, we're going to lie flat on our back again, but this time we're going to put legs out straight. And all we're going to do is just swing one leg up towards the head, get a bit of length into the hamstring. Once you've got 5 on one side, you can go 5 on the other. And then we're going to sit on up and come over into our press up position. Okay, nice, tall, long arm position, making sure that I tuck the pelvis. And then all we're going to do is we're going to step 1 foot up towards a hand, making sure the back leg stays out straight, and then take the hand that's nearest the foot off the floor, reach it through underneath the body, and then turn the torso in towards the knee. Five rotations. Once you've had 5 on one side, we step that leg back and we switch. Again, making sure that back leg is out straight. The hand is nearest the foot. Take it off the floor, reach through as far under as you can, and then turn the chest in towards that front knee. 5 rotations. Excellent. Then back to the press up position. And we want 5 press up plus. So arms straight from the top of the press up, just push the floor away. Once you've done 5 there, we want 5 regular press ups. Now, if that needs to be on your knees, that's completely fine. We want to get chest all the way to the floor, chest and hips to the floor at the same time, and press away. Once you've got your 5 reps there, drop your knees and come up to your feet. Nice. Very nice. Up on our feet. Just going to work through a few lunges to open the hips, activate the muscles around the quads and the glutes. And we're going to start with 3 forward lunges on one side. Just a regular forward lunge, push back to the start, keeping your feet hip width apart all the time. Once you've got 3 forward, we're going to do 3 out sideways. Again, keeping the toes and feet facing forwards, making sure that the leg I'm stepping away from doesn't bend or rotate. And then 3 to the reverse. We're keeping that same leg moving, so we are lunging on the other leg when we're doing our backward lunges. And then we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. Forward lunge, dropping my back knee towards the floor, 3 sideways, nice and controlled, and then 3 to the reverse. Beautiful. All right, good stuff. Nicely done. All right, grab a little drink, get your kettlebell or kettlebells out. Okay, so we're going to work through some single arm swings to start, okay? So remember with the swing, we're going to want that kettlebell to start out a little bit in front of you. We're going to drop through the knee and reach forward. You notice as I reach forward, my back stays nice and flat. Okay, I get a good grip on the kettlebell, and then I pull it. I'm going to extend a little bit. I'm just going to rock it into between my legs, and then from that position, I fire my hips forward. And my arm is nice and relaxed. Okay, that arm's not doing anything. And we're going to get 5 swings on one side, 5 swings on the other. Okay, and we're going to do that on the minute, just for 3 minutes. And then we're going to move on. So we're going to separate all the elements of a flow today, and then we're going to link them all together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. You pull in and drive away. Back stays nice and flat. Fire the hips forward. Keep a good grip. Once you've got 5, return it back out to your start point. Switch your hands and go again. Good. And rest. Beautiful. So remember, this is like an extended part of the warm-up. We're just developing the skill a little bit as well. Okay, 20 seconds and we go again. Ten seconds. So remember, this is all about from the hip, okay? So I'm in a position here where I can stay balanced over my feet. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I drop the knee and the hip. My back stays flat. I pull in and fire away. I make sure my feet stay flat to the floor all the time. So I'm adjusting my weight distribution as the weight moves backwards and forwards. Good. As I switch over sides, I'm going to reset. And now, because the weight's in one arm, I'm going to allow a little bit of rotation of my torso as I swing. Good. 5 on each side, and rest. We've got about 30 seconds before we hit our final set. Really important, guys, okay? As that weight comes in here, I'm not allowing the weight to lift my toes off the floor. I'm bracing. And the same when I'm out here, I'm firing those hips forward. So I'm not pulling with my arm. The weight is showing between my hips. I punch forward with the hips, and that's what sends the weight out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Good set position, and we go. So my working arm is actually very relaxed. Just got a good solid grip. Good. Focusing on power from my hips and lower body, not pulling it up with my arm. Okay, the weight's too heavy for me to do that with anyway. Nice and controlled, that outwards, backwards movement. Being patient, not sending the hips back, and then the arms, power it out, and you wait. Wait, and then let the weight pull you through into that position so you can load the hamstrings effectively. Okay, good stuff. All right, what we've got coming next is a bit of a variation on a clean, okay? So, let me just show you before we move on. So the clean is usually a swing, okay? And the swing we catch up on the shoulder. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to put that with a reverse lunge. So we're going to catch the clean somewhere near to the bottom of a reverse lunge. And it's going to be the same leg that goes backwards, okay? So it's going to look like this. Play around with the timing, okay, and how high you send the kettlebell. So it'll look like I'll pull it in, I'll swing, and I'll catch and stand. Swing and drop. Okay, we don't want the back knee driving into the floor, And it doesn't matter to begin with if it's a catch and step, so we separate the two. If we can get both working at the same time, that would be fantastic. 5 on one side, 5 on the other. All right, we're going to start in 20 seconds. Don't rush. Okay, they take a little bit longer than the swings, so we're going to go every 90 seconds. All right, 10 seconds away. Into a good set position. 3, 2, 1, away we go. So I bring it up. I'm going to get myself half a swing. 1. Stand all the way up before you drop it into the next swing. Dropping that back knee towards the floor. Once I'm done, I'm going to place it out in front. I'll show you this set side on. Put it in, little half a swing to get myself set. Keeping my torso nice and tall. Once I'm into my lunge. Beautiful, and then rest. Good. Remember, take your time. We got plenty of time in between. So get into a good rhythm of trying to catch. Once I started the swing, try not to let the hand get too far out in front. So I've got to change what my elbow's doing to be able to catch at the bottom of that lunge. I don't need my knee to hit the floor. So that front leg's got a brace. You don't want the weight sitting on the back. Okay, that's why it's important to drop that knee down and get the load over the front leg, okay? 10 seconds before we do set number 2. 5 seconds. Into my start position. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to draw it in. Little half a swing, getting started. Timing, rhythm, staying connected with that kettlebell. Making sure I've got not too much load on that back leg. And when I'm ready, I change sides. So remember, you've got to punch that elbow towards the ceiling to get that turnover. And I'm trying to meet the kettlebell in space. Lovely, good job. We've got about 45 seconds now before our final set. Good stuff. Remember, we got this break in between to get our breath back. 15 seconds before we hit our final set. 10. So I'm going to preempt by getting in a good position. Here we go, 5. Reaching forward, got my kettlebell. 3, 2, 1. Little swing in, and I've greased the groove now, so I can start that straight away. You notice I'm not punching as hard as I can as I would do on a swing, because I only want the kettlebell to come and drop in to catch it, so I don't need to fire it hard and out. I'm trying to maintain a sense of connection with the kettlebell so that it doesn't drop and crash on my shoulder. Elbow comes up to meet. Beautiful, good. And then rest. Fantastic. Good. 2 down, 1 more movement to go. And it's going to be at the bottom of the lunge, okay? So our movement here will be at the bottom of the lunge, half kneeling position, dumbbell in that front rack, and we're going to press. Okay, we get 5 on one side, return it to the floor, switch over, and then 5 on the other side. And then rest. Take your time in the transitions. Okay. Remember, if you're going to stick with the same weight as you've just been doing for the swings and the cleans, it's going to get challenging. We've got 45 seconds before we start our half kneeling press. So let's remember, guys, our half kneeling setup position. Knee underneath the hip, underneath the shoulder, okay? We need to make sure that we've got a little bit of a tuck in the pelvis to the back so that we engage our trunk. And as I press them, we don't want to allow the hips to sag and drop forwards or our rib cage to flare and open up, okay? Just over 15 seconds to go. Okay, so down in your starting lunge position, back knee on the floor, ready, 3, 2, 1, bring it up and press. Keeping the core nice and tight, driving that hand straight to the ceiling, down to the floor, change it over. Remember, you can use 2 hands to pick that up into position. Controlling the breath, keeping the core nice and tight. Once we finish the 5, we lower to the floor. Good. So remember, you can pick that up into position standing to drop down if it's a bit fiddly to get the weight up. So you can swing, drop down and then press. Loads of time, 40 seconds. So remember, combating what the weight's trying to do to our body. Our body will try and find the most effective way, i.e. by shortening levers, okay, or by shortening the distance. Then we're going to try and press, and it will do that by collapsing and sinking so that the weight doesn't have to travel quite so far. We need to resist that, 15 seconds. So down we go, into that half kneeling position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Core nice and tight. And I'm pressing straight to the ceiling, trying to keep a good straight line down through the body without moving forwards or without leaning back. I do that by squeezing my left glute, or the glute that's with the knee on the floor. That tucks the pelvis. You can see my hips moving there, my pelvis moving there, and then keeping my ribs nice and tight. I switch sides, same deal. The knees on the floor, I squeeze the same glute. I think about extending and creating length from my back knee to my hand. And rest. Good stuff. 40 seconds. Final set. And then we're going to play around with linking all 3 things together. 1 swing, 1 clean and lunge, 1 press from the floor. And we're just going to accumulate a bit of volume, okay? Good, 10 seconds away from our last set of presses. So I'll show you front on here, 1 hips and shoulders, feet by hip width apart, sorry. 3, 2, 1, weight up and press. I'm trying not to lean forwards, sideways or backwards, and keep the core nice and tight. Do my 5, switch sides, get the knee underneath the hip, underneath the shoulder, bring that weight up. And obviously the lower down I bring that, the harder the press is, because I end up moving the weight further. If you're really struggling, you can rest the weight here, because then you only get half the rep. I actually find that more of a challenge. It's a bit of a weak part of the press for me. Okay, ideally bringing it all the way back down to the front rack. Good job. Okay,
So, bit of a breather now, before we move into the more of like the conditioning volume part. Okay. Okay. Good. Taking a breather. And we're going to link all of these together now. Okay. Starting with a swing. All right. So, this is what it's going to look like. And we're going to do it on both sides and then take a rest, okay? So, I'm going to get, from my start position, pull in, one full swing, catch down at the bottom of that lunge, press to overhead, then stand, down, back to the floor. Then I change sides. One swing, same knee down to the floor, press, stand with it overhead, okay? And then we rest. Just don't break the house. All right, I'm going to come a little bit forward, further forward than that. Okay. Good stuff. We're going to go in 40 seconds, so just grab yourself a drink. Okay. 20 seconds away. We're going to do the first few on the minute, just 3 on the minute rounds, so we can get used to the rhythm. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Hand down. One full swing. One catch the clean. I'm down on the floor now. I get my press. From that press, I stand, lower in, down, back to the floor, change sides. One swing. One clean and lunge. One press. Keep the press overhead. Stand, bring it in, and finish. Good stuff. There you go. That wasn't so bad. Okay, take your time with the transitions. Think about what's coming next, okay? We've done lots of repetitions of each one to make sure that we've got a nice rhythm with it. 10 seconds away, and we're going to do exactly the same thing again. All right? So making sure I'm a good distance away from the kettlebell. 3, bend the knee and the hip, back flat, reaching out, pull into your first swing. One swing, one clean, control it to the floor, one press, stand, lower in to the hips, back out in front, change over. One swing, one clean, and ride it down, one press overhead, bring it in, down, and out. Beautiful. So that start position is key, guys, okay? It helps us pull into the first swing. It helps us think about staying rigid through the torso and loading through the hips rather than letting the load go through the lower back. All right, we've got one more. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Take hold. One swing. Thinking about my lunge and clean. Ride it down. Stay tight once my knee hits the floor. Press out. Keep my arm extended. Stand in, into the hips. Little mini swing and out. Same on the other side. I'm balanced and pull in. I get one swing. Big, powerful hips. Catch. Ride it down. And press. Keep it extended, stand, bring it in and down. Good job. All right. Finish that set. Grab yourself a little drink, because now the real fun starts. All right, we're 25 minutes into the session. We are now going to see how many rounds of that we can fit into 6 minutes. Okay, and we're going to start in a minute. So think about the sequence. Okay, one swing, come back into the hips, change the swing slightly with that elbow bend to turn over and catch the clean. As you're catching the clean, we're dropping that same side knee to the floor. Then we're going to stay tight, and I'm going to press and lock out overhead. Once it's locked out overhead, I rock onto that front leg to stand out of the lunge, square my feet off, bring the weight into the shoulder, back to the hip, out in front and change, okay? So we're looking at round about, if you're doing them well, okay, you can get through them one on each side in about 30 seconds if there's really good quality, okay? If you're really proficient with the kettlebell, there's a good chance you're going to get through it closer to maybe 25 or even 20 seconds, okay? But remember that it's sustainable. We just want 6 minutes of work, all right? 15 seconds away. I've spoken a little bit longer, so you've got another 30 seconds of rest. So let's think about where we're at. Think about what we're doing. Get ready to go. 3, 2, 1. 6 minutes. Here we go. Pull in. One swing. One clean. One press. Stand. And don't cheat like I just did. Okay, bring it to the shoulder first. One swing. One clean. One press. Stand. Shoulder. Down. Back up. Let me just keep going. One swing. One clean. One press. Stand. Shoulder. Hip. Down. Switch sides. So can you make it really fluid? Separating each section. Remembering that on that press, keeping the hand pressed high to the ceiling all the time. Making sure on the swing we drive with the hips. Then we ride down, press and stand, in and down. Keep control of your breathing. We don't, if we can help it, we don't want to take a break. The only little break we get is when the kettlebell's back on the floor. If I do it at a pace that I'm comfortable with, I can keep control of my breathing as well. Notice that in my switch over position, my back's nice and flat. I've already loaded the hamstrings, put it in. And the interesting thing will be, guys, is as you start to fatigue a bit, what happens to your coordination? So we're thinking about it all of the time. I'm thinking about a good, powerful swing, and then manipulating that position. In, down, change sides. One swing, one clean. So when you're standing out of that lunge, making sure that we're driving using the front leg. Okay? From down there, I want to push up through my front leg. One swing, one clean, core tight, press. In and down, good. Change sides. Making sure it's the same side knee that drops. Make sure you're balanced before you press. Good. Notice I'm not going crazy with my speed. I'm making sure that everything's staying as neat and tidy as possible. We don't want to need to take a break. So just use that as a clue for how fast we should be working. So I could really amp up that speed and it starts to fall apart a little bit, okay? And when it's slow, one swing. Think about what's coming next. My clean, drop the knee, press, up, in, down. Change over. Good. We're over the halfway mark now. One swing. Making sure everything's as neat and tidy now as it was at the start. So I'm starting to breathe a little heavier now, so I'm going to try and get my breathing back under control. Making sure the core is on nice and tight, and making sure that I'm really thinking about my posture. Good glute squeeze on the swing, good control into the clean, easy on the press, catch, supported by my legs, little mini swing out. Good, guys. Remember, we just want to maintain the quality, making sure you don't start the press before that back knee's down on the floor. About a minute and a half to go, guys. If you're able to maintain a nasal breath, that's awesome. I'm definitely sweating. I can definitely feel I'm doing some work, but I'm not redlining. Remember, we don't want to catch back. Okay, so let's think about all those teaching points that we focused on at the very beginning. Balance in the swing, timing and rhythm, and stability through the clean and press, and balance through the lunge. Constantly got good control over the kettlebell. 45 seconds to go now, which means you're probably on about 3 reps to go, about 15 seconds a rep. Don't let how long we've got left determine or make you move any faster. Good, steady rhythm. $20 seconds to go. $10 seconds to go. So be your last rep now. There you go, my brain went. Balance, press, finish where you're at, and that's time. Nicely done. So the challenge there, guys, okay, is a coordinative, trying to keep the brain engaged with the body under a bit of duress. But the duress isn't so much that we see our heart rate tank up into the red zone. All right, if you're wearing some kind of watch or fitness tracker and you've put your age and your all your stats in, your personal details, then it'll normally work out your heart rate zones for you. Mine didn't get out of zone 2 through that. You notice I was able to talk in between not talking. I was able to nasal breathe a little bit. Okay, and when we're looking to just not stop moving, nasal breathing is a really good limiter for not pushing too hard. And the harder we push, the quicker we'll have to transfer from a nasal breath to an oral breath. Okay, and what we'll see then is our heart rate will jump because the oxygen demand increases massively. And there's a point where it's almost exponential in terms of what we need. We don't want to go there. Sometimes we do, but in terms of today, it was just reps and volume. Okay, we haven't used that clean to reverse lunge before. All right, and there's a sense of timing and rhythm and things that come with that. So that's why we wanted to move slowly, okay, and coordinate those things and make it look really good. All right, awesome, well done. And that's it for today. A little 30 minutes of learning some new things, some things you can implement when you're training on your own, okay, all really incredibly useful. So let's just move that kettlebell out of the way. And we're just gonna give the lower back and shoulders a little bit of TLC. Okay? Okie dokie. So come down onto all fours. Down in all fours, okay, with a nice flat back position, so we don't want the tail sticking too far up into the air, and we don't want to be completely rounded, okay? Not just yet anyway. But let's start with opening out that lower back. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I want you to stick your tail up in the air a little bit, so tip that pelvis forward down towards the floor, let the rib cage open, draw your shoulder blades together, and just look forwards. Okay, I don't need to look up. Just lift, get that chin parallel to the floor. Then we're going to reverse that, but from the chin down to your tailbone, okay? So you start by tucking your chin. You're then going to push the floor away to round your upper back. And then slowly, we're going to start to push our rib cage up towards the ceiling, all the way down until I've tucked my pelvis. Okay, so I've created a big C with my spine. Keeping that C on, I'm just going to sit back towards my heels. And you should feel the lower back open here. You get a little bit of a stretch, okay? Slowly come back up. And then release that from the tailbone first. So keep everything pushed up towards the ceiling. Slowly flatten out the tailbone. And then let the rib cage open. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift the head, look forwards. Good, one more time. Tuck the chin first. Then push the floor away. Just spread your shoulder blades and then slowly start to almost do an abdominal crunch from the top down to your pelvis. Tuck your tail between your legs and then slowly sit your hips back towards your heels. Open out that lower back. Good. Slowly come back up to all fours, keeping that big curve on the spine. Let the pelvis go, open the rib cage. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift the head. Beautiful. Nicely done, guys. All right. Staying in all four position, what I want you to do now is take your knees out nice and wide, much wider than your hips, and then bring your toes together. Okay, so I've gone wide at the knee, toes together, sit my weight back towards my heels, hands out and down and in front, into a child's pose, getting the hands as far away from your hips as you can without your hips sliding forwards. Okay, and sitting down, thinking about letting the shoulders relax, let all the tension go from the body to begin with. Good. Down in this position now, what I want you to do is just up onto your fingertips with your hands, all right, like you're holding a bowl under each hand, and then just look up at your hands and see if you can get your chest through towards the floor, okay? You might feel this more through your lats, you might get it right through the middle of your shoulder blades, through your spine. There's no right or wrong answer, depends where, if you've got more spine stiffness or more muscular tightness, okay? Good, and then hands flat to the floor, slowly work arms back in, rise on out, and that's us done for this morning. Good job, guys.